Today we're going to address the topic of sad beige babies in their rooms. If you watch my channel, if you know anything about me, you know, one, I have two babies now, and two, I love color. So this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart. I personally am a hater of beige baby rooms, beige baby toys, anything related to babies and beige. Now, the color beige is fine in moderation. Personally, I don't understand why we're stripping color out of children's toys and turning them into wood blocks with no graphics or design on them. That's a little bit crazy to me. I know some people love this aesthetic. Obviously, it's here for a reason, but I'm here to hopefully change your mind just a little bit. Implement a little more color and fun into your child's life. Okay, let's begin. So if you didn't know, I just had my second baby. I have an almost 2-year-old and a 1-month-old. I'm constantly surrounded by kids' toys, color, anything children related. It's around me. So automatically there's going to be color in my home, but I still want it to be aesthetically pleasing to my chosen aesthetic. And I think there are ways to do that without stripping the life out of their toys and basically their childhood. For my kids' bedroom, they share a bedroom. Right now, the baby's too young to sleep in that room, so she's in our room. But for their room, I chose a color palette of mainly primaries, yellow, blue, red, but I also implemented some florals for her side and a little more girly elements. So I'll show y'all their room in a little bit. But for right now, I'm just going to go through the tips of how to avoid the sadness and beigeness for your child. Like I said, the color beige is not bad. There's nothing wrong with beige, but if everything is that color or a tone of that color, it's not good. It's just not good. So if you have a beige crib, aka like a light wood crib, that can be your one beige item, or a dresser, or anything that's substantial and not, bless you, I have my baby right here, so don't mind her. Preferably not their toys or blankets or anything soft and small like that. I would choose, like I said, a crib, maybe even curtains, or maybe even the wall color, because you can add a ton of color into the space with leaving the walls a neutral color. Especially if you rent and you're not allowed to paint, then you're gonna have to do this. Thankfully, our landlord has let us paint every room, so I painted their bedroom the same color as our living room, which is Contented by Sherwin-Williams. And I personally think this is a great jumping off point because it's blue, it's a little bit green, but it could lean gray almost. So it's kind of the perfect neutral in my opinion. And it's a great foundation for whatever you want to do for the rest of the room. So keep the beige to a minimum. If you have items that you just got, maybe you just got from your registry and you obviously don't want to get rid of them, keep them. There's no problem with that, but we're going to add in a lot of other things to bring life back to the room. So if you are not into color, you're like, Lindsay, I'm not like you. I don't want bright yellow curtains and a red crib and a green crib. Not my vibe. I get it, girl. I get it. What I would say to you is pick one color, happy, lively color. It doesn't matter what it is. Let's say if you're having a girl and you want it to be pink, let it be pink. You can get some sheets that have pink in them or a really nice vintage quilt, hang that on the wall. I personally love a pop of, like I said, red, yellow, or blue in a child's bedroom. Those are easy for them to see, they're eye-catching, kind of engages their brain. Now, I don't know the science behind colors in children. I just know that colors are good for them. So I'm not gonna act like I know everything. I just know my son loves bright colors. So one happy color, no matter what it is, just one. Start with one. Maybe it's the rug. Maybe it's a pillow on your glider rocker. Doesn't matter. Just one. I promise it won't be scary. You could even do a lamp on your changing table. It really doesn't have to be some drastic change, but I do think it's important to have something fun in there because your child's going to be in there a lot. Even if it's a mobile and that's the only color you have in your room, that's great. Babies love mobiles, and they're pretty to look at. tip number 3 is add some whimsy in there. Take inspiration from the books they read, the TV they watch. You really want to try and get inside the mind of a child, and I guarantee the mind of a child is not going to be the home section of Target. You know, it's not Magnolia Home. So let's say your child's favorite book is Where the Wild Things Are. Love that book. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the illustration style. Look through it. See what colors are they using? What shapes are prominent? What's the composition of the illustrations? I know that might sound like, how's that going to help me? But if you take inspiration from that book, it can really be a jumping off point for the rest of the room. It can start to put you in that mindset of making the space feel a little more magical, whimsical, childlike, because after all, it is for a child. In Where the Wild Things Are, there's greens and blues and even pinks and yellows, but they're very muted. I think that's a great place to start. You can get curtains, a rug, even art that has those colors in it. And my biggest tip, if you want to put art above a crib, because I know some people are scared of that, choose a lighter weight frame, maybe one with plexiglass instead of real glass. And I would recommend doing the regular nail at the top and then putting command strips along the sides or bottom so they can't rip it off the wall. We did this above my son's bed. I made some oil pastels for him, like 3 oil pastels that make one big tiger, and he loves to claw at it. If he's bored, he's just like but he's never knocked it down because I have that thing secured, and it's very lightweight. It's literally just a wood frame and like craft paper taped to the back. So something light, but I'm a believer in putting art above a crib if you can, if there's not like a window or anything. But if you're scared, just know that there are ways to secure it so it's not gonna topple over. I also love the look of laundry baskets or laundry hampers that have fun colors on them, or they're a fun shape. I've seen a lot of like wicker and rattan laundry baskets grow in popularity. They're maybe like the shape of a giraffe or an elephant or something. Those are so fun, and that's obviously an automatic whimsical element you can apply. My favorite way to source art is through thrift stores, Goodwill, or even eBay. Again, you can take the colors from the children's books and find art that matches that. You can also have a lot of fun with mats and frames. You can paint the mat, paint the frame. That's what I do a lot because frames can be so expensive. So if you just get, you know, like a regular thick paper mat, you can easily paint that and then the frame around it. You can usually find pretty simple frames at Target, and those are super easy to paint. But I also love old paintings for a child's bedroom. In our kids' room, we have these 2 vintage paintings of sailboats. One is an oil painting in this really nice frame, and the other one is like a 3-dimensional wood cutout of a boat, and it's so cute. There's not really a theme in our kids' bedroom. It's just kind of fun and colorful. So having something vintage is also really important. You guys know I'm a big believer in old and new. I definitely don't want everything in the room to be linkable. Like you can find every single item online. That's just my personal preference and opinion. I think it's fun when you mix things up. And it's kind of fun because even though it's a child's room, it still feels really put together, because though you want the room to be considerate of them and what they like, it's also fun if you're a design lover to implement things that you love and still fit the rest of your home. And I know as children grow, they get very opinionated and they're going to say what they want in their room. But when they're a baby, you can do what you want. So that's what I'm doing. And art is definitely something that you kind of have control over right now. My next tip is just to add as much texture as you can. You can easily do this with pillows if you have a rocker in your room, or the actual rocker can be a texture. Ours, if you've watched my other videos, I'm usually in this corner right over here in my big glider rocker, and that has like a vine pattern all over it. And then I put like a velvety pillow on top of it. So things like that, where you're still implementing color and texture, it's really going to add interest to that little space. I talked about quilts, I think in my last video or maybe the one before. I love a quilt. I love a vintage quilt. I'm dying to get my hands on one. I used to have a quilt hanging up in my bedroom, like my childhood bedroom, and I loved it even then. And I had like a big wicker love seat beneath it, and it looked so fun. Usually people love to give quilts as a gift at baby showers. I've noticed that a lot. I've received some, and it's so special, especially if they're handmade. You'll keep it forever. It's just a really fun element. It creates a coziness to the space. I love them. My next tip is add some weird stuff. Kids are weird. Add some weirdness in there. I love an unexpected, like I said, art element, whether it's a painting or mobile, or if you have a bookshelf, put like little knickknacks on it, and just fun little sculptural elements. You can also do this through a ceiling light. You can't see it, but right here above me is a tulip lampshade. They gifted us this one, and I think they came out with a kids line, and they're so cute. Great if you rent, or if you just don't want to spend a ton of money on a new light fixture. These are so easy. Just stick it to the ceiling and it instantly transforms the space. They also have a lot of different colors and patterns on their website that are so fun. I also love framed pieces of clothing. We have a lot of vintage pieces that were given to us, like vintage pieces of clothing that I am not going to get rid of. I want to frame them, like little t-shirts from the 50s. He has one that says, "I'm a little angel." I don't know what year it's from. It's probably 60s or 50s. I'm obsessed with that shirt, and as soon as it doesn't fit him, it's going in a frame. I think this is so fun. You can frame little overalls, even shoes, anything like that. I love. I also love, if your child is older, framing obviously their art. There's this one picture on Pinterest that I've seen a bunch of people pin. I've pinned it, and it says like Rosie's Rules, which also my daughter's name is Rosie, so love that. But things like that, where it's bringing the childhood back into the room and making it look like a child lives there, lives in that home. And you can add a really fun frame around that, a bright color. I also love like banisters or tapestries that say things. I've seen those have grown in popularity a lot. You can even hand make this if you're crafty. Just get some canvas and some felt, cut the felt into shapes and hot glue it on the canvas and hang it up or frame it. Basically, I like art and decor that looks like a child could have done it or child did do it, especially in a nursery or a child's bedroom. And like I said, the unexpected element could also be like an adult piece of art. And by adult, like I said earlier, just something that's a little more formal and grown up that you wouldn't really think to put in a kid's room, but it weirdly looks so good with the mix of everything else and the crib and the like clearly baby items. I like the juxtaposition of like kind of serious with very whimsical and childlike. My next tip is to just let the room grow with your baby. If you're starting this off as a nursery, it's okay if it changes. Obviously, that's one of my favorite things. My house is always changing. But if you add in things that they made, hang them up, like I said, with the Rosie's Rules piece of art, it's fun to have it evolve as they evolve and they grow older. Obviously, you may not want to paint the room over and over again. That's why I think choosing a neutral color would be great, but it is fun to kind of let them have their hand at it and implement things that really mean something to them. I love the look of like toy horses and animals lined up on like a windowsill or on a bookcase. I think that's so fun. Kind of displaying their toys, making them important instead of kind of shoving them in a closet or something. We've had to declutter his toys way too many times because they just accumulate out of nowhere. So I get that they can be like, I just want them shoved away and I don't want to look at them. But I also think it's fun to just kind of make a moment for them, and I think your child will really like it too. My second to last tip is sentimental over perfect. I think the whole crux of the sad beige baby room is it needs to look perfect, and that's the antithesis of what a child is and what they like. I think they need room to have fun and be creative and let loose. And personally, growing up, all of the rooms that I was obsessed with were just crammed full of stuff, and they were super creative, and there was art everywhere and art supplies and toys. And that's so much more fun for a child than like perfectly placed, very minimal museum like. I personally don't know any child who desires that. I think it's important to recognize the sentimental value of things over, does this fit my exact aesthetic? And like I said, I am making their room kind of fit my aesthetic, but not so much so where you can't change anything. This is mom's room. It's because it's not. It's their room. So I think it's important to prioritize that. And this ties in with the tip before it, which the room should grow with your child. And I think if it's so perfect and perfectly placed, then there's really no room for it to grow with them. Basically, it's just no fun. And kids just want to have fun. So, sentimental over perfect. That's the key. My last tip is mood lighting. Lighting is so important, especially if you're going to be going into this room a lot to nurse them or feed them. You're not going to want to turn on the giant overhead light. That sounds horrific. It's going to wake the baby up. It's going to hurt your eyes. You don't want to do that. So this is where lamps come into play, or even little night lights that you turn over. I just got a night light for our bedroom since our baby is right next to us. You just flip it over and it turns on like the perfect amount of light. So you'll definitely want items like that. You're not going to want an overhead light. Trust me, no one's going to be happy in that situation. So some fun lighting, little lamps, little floor lamps, even sconces. I love a sconce, you guys know this. And you could put it above the glider rocker or wherever you're nursing or feeding, kind of like task lighting. That's going to be really important. And make them warm bulbs. You do not want cool tone bulbs. Like I said, it's going to wake everyone up. You're already in a bad mood because it's 3 a.m. and your baby's probably crying. So if you can help ease the tension, lighting will really, really help with that. So those are all of my tips. Basically, have fun, implement color, texture, personality, sentimental items, and you're bound to have a much happier bedroom. You can still have it neutral. There's nothing wrong with that. But you gotta implement some other items that aren't just the Magnolia Home section of Target. You know what I mean? You can have some Target items, but throw in some other things too. Hopefully this helped any moms or parents out there. Moms to be. I love looking at nurseries. I think they're so much fun. If you guys have any tips on nursery or baby rooms and what you would do, what you like to do, let me know in the comments and let others know too. I am currently doing our laundry room renovation. If you follow me on Instagram, I've been documenting that process on my stories and I am so excited. Things are finally coming along and I'm gonna film the whole renovation for you. Don't worry. I'm literally ecstatic because I've been itching to paint a room and decorate a room, but our house is very small and there's only so many rooms you can do. So I'm very excited. Keep an eye out for that. I'm not sure when I'll post that, but it'll come. And I hope you'll like it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.